I was taken by aliens into the stars once.
I've been to space with them.
I've been to space
I had checked
before.
out at this point. I was like, no.
I was obsessed with
No,
it.
this is too much. Welcome to Hot Girl Stomps.
Happy, I don't know what day it is. Saturday, Gemma. I don't know what day it is.
What day?
Right now, I think it's Saturday, but obviously you guys will be listening to this on a Wednesday. So happy, technically Wednesday, Gemma. How are we doing?
Happy good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Wherever you are
Depending
in the world.
on
Yeah.
where or when you like to listen to your podcast.
Absolutely.
My personal fave is when the kids aren't in and I put my headphone, specifically with headphones on, and like do my cleaning. What about you?
Don't know. I'm really lazy.
Wow, Sherry, that was really inspirational.
I know, sorry. Right, repeat the question and I'll answer correctly.
You're not even listening to what I'm asking
I am.
you.
Repeat the question and then I am going to answer you in the level of enthusiasm that you were looking for. Go.
When do you like to listen to your podcast, Sherry?
When do I like to listen to my podcast, Gemma? Wherever I am at the time. And that's why I didn't have an answer for you a minute ago. Weirdly, I do listen back to our episodes. I love listening back to our episodes. Like, I think by the time, because we record them quite a bit in advance, like plot twist, we do, just to make sure that we actually got episodes for you guys to listen to. I think I've completely forgotten like everything that we've talked about in an episode, so it's like listening to it brand new again. So I sometimes Lewis will send it in to us like, what do you guys think? And I might be at work or in the car or at home or wherever, so I literally will like stop what I'm doing and listen. Like, so I have no preferred way of listening to the podcast. I think it probably works best with earphones in, but I do tend to listen like on the morning the podcast comes out. No matter how many times I've listened to it before, it goes on straight away. So I do listen on release day in the car on the way to work, like every day, because it comes out at 7 a.m. our time.
Just in case.
Encased.
Just in case Spotify has corrupted it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to make sure
we just need to check it's still as we left it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it depends on where I'm at, but yeah, it would be interesting to know. From, not that I'm spying on our listeners, but most people do listen on their phones. So whether that's, via
maybe in the car,
earphones or via the car.
Car's a good one.
Like 1 or 2 people seem to listen on like an Amazon at home, but most people are mobile listeners.
I'm a Spotify girl. Like, who's using Apple Music and Amazon Music?
Quite a few people, I think. Well, iPhone users use Apple, I think. So, but Amazon, I don't know.
I'm just an Android basic.
I'm a basic girl as well. I was going to say the B word then, but we've got to try and keep this as
clean,
good girl as possible. So what have you got for me today, Gemma? Rolling right in.
Right, guys.
This is going to be a wild
Strap in.
We cannot guarantee
Buckle yourselves.
How long or short this episode is going to be.
Go to the toilet now, get a fresh beverage and get comfortable, because we are not going to fit. I've got a lot of notes here.
We've got a lot to get through.
We've got a lot to get through.
We've got a lot of opinions.
This is not going to be a standard half an hour, 40-minute episode. So clear your calendars. Go in the car for a 2-hour. It's not going to be 2 hours.
If you're going on a long journey somewhere, save this episode for that long journey.
This is the one so far to listen to. So we had a bit of an idea. So psychics.
Yeah.
I say that with a heavy
psychics
inclination.
Psychics, mediums, clairvoyants. I think there's, whatever. I think they all
of the above
reveal themselves as different things, don't they? Or refer to themselves in different ways.
They do.
But
Now, I love a medium.
We love a medium.
I love a medium. And
do we?
This is the thing.
This is the episode.
Right, okay. Do I believe that some people are born with a more natural ability to tune into that energy frequency? Yes. Do I necessarily think those are the people that are going round attending psychic nights and charging people for readings?
No. I feel that you and I are quite aligned to a degree on this topic.
Yes.
We've done many. I say many. We haven't done that many actually. We've done psychic nights and stuff together in the past.
Yes.
And
we couldn't even remember what they told us.
Exactly. So it can't have been that good.
So short and oh my goodness. Short and sweet, guys. Sherry and I last night attended a psychic evening at a local art gallery in our town. There was quite a few there, wasn't there? Like 10?
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many tables there were. So I'm sure that most psychic nights kind of probably run the same way. Maybe not just in the UK, but like worldwide, I would assume. Yeah. So you go, like, you pay for just the ticket to go, and you usually get supper. Like at these, there's usually split into like 2 ways. You can go and see a psychic. You know, Derek Acora and Colin Fry was like the other really big one back in the day.
Yeah.
And Psychic Sally and those people.
Yes.
And they tour and they will just do
like
a stage
big arena,
show.
like arena tour type vibe.
Or even just a room. Like, you know, it will be a medium addressing the crowd, and they will pick out whoever they feel connected to, whatever. The psychic nights that we go to sometimes are like the psychic suppers, where you,
because if there's not food, I ain't going.
Well, yeah, exactly right. I need the mental motivation, and food gives me that. You go, you get food, you stay at your table, and the psychics move tables. So I think there may have been like 8 or 9, maybe 8 or 9 tables, so 8 or 9 mediums. But they did say to us, you will only see 4
in the hour and a half we were there.
Yeah, you'll get 4 people.
You'll probably
come
only
to
realistically get 4.
So we got 4. Very different to each other,
and I loved that. To be fair, actually,
readings.
that is on my positive list. They were all very different in their techniques,
which
I appreciated.
Yeah, I do worry every time I see a medium turn up and they've got angel cards.
That's an ick for you, is it?
It is a little bit. I mean, not to say I don't believe it, but like, the first one that sat down with us, I'm kind of stealing your thunder on this.
I think you and I are going to have very different
opinions on each one. I think we are. But like, yeah, when I see someone sit down and they've got cards, I'm like, oh, here we go. But that's just me being a snob. But yeah, so let's
oh, guys,
just roll
literally,
on with
I'm so excited. If this episode comes across as just word vomit, I'm so sorry. But like, me and Sherry haven't. So obviously we went last night, but then we didn't discuss it.
Yeah,
not in depth anyway.
We looked at each other afterwards, and we had a very
Sherry
brief
drove me
discussion.
home, and we just had huge grins on our faces because we knew we couldn't.
Neither of us were like. We said, Gemma started talking. I was like, no, shush, save it for the episode. Don't talk.
Don't talk. Don't do it.
And we did try to ask your mum, because your mum came with us, and we were like, what did you think? She just looked at us, and we were like, she's so stoned, like, she just gives nothing.
Sherry, can you imagine being raised by that woman?
I know.
Like, why I am the way I am.
She just gave us nothing.
For a 5-foot woman, she's the Great Wall of China. But anyway, that's like, maybe we should do a psychological
review on your mum's.
Maybe we should do a psychology podcast as an aside.
Yeah,
that
get
could
Dr. Kieran O'Keefe on. Big up, Dr. Kieran O'Keefe. I love you. Please come on our podcast.
Sherry, you wouldn't cope.
I wouldn't cope. I would pass away.
We have a contact for Kieran O'Keefe.
I know we do. Every episode, I feel like I name drop him every episode, and I'm like, please, I love you.
You're manifesting
and
it.
Every episode, I then go, no, I'll die.
If Kieran O'Keefe comes and sits in my utility / podcast room,
I'd pass away.
No.
I would be the ghost that you are communicating with, and I feel like the last 4 episodes, I have said the same thing about him. I love
Sherry,
him.
set off the REM pod twice for yes, once for no.
Do you want Dr. Kieran O'Keefe to speak to you? Boop, boop.
The machine has just blown up. Sorry, Kieran. We'll have to rearrange this for another day. So, sorry, like I say, this is probably going to read a little bit all over the place. So, I fully believe some people have mediumship abilities.
Yeah.
Fully believe that. And I've had, in my lifetime, I have had one great reading.
Same.
Where I came away from it like, what on earth?
Yeah.
And I think I sort of briefly discussed this with you. I'd gone, me and my in-laws and my now husband's side of the family, we went down to their local pub in the village, not knowing there was an event on. I think we were hoping for a pub quiz, and we turned up and they were like, psychic night, and we were like, oh, okay.
Great for producer Lewis, who does not believe. I'm sure he was delighted.
Did he go upstairs for a reading? No. He stayed downstairs and had the buffet and had a drink. So me and his mum went up, though. Of course we did.
Of course.
We were like, yes. And I think there's almost, I think, as we said before, when I was telling you about it, almost that element of like, maybe when you need to hear from spirit, you will, not when you're
desperate for it.
Yeah. When you're paying to seek it, as opposed to actually, I just happened to turn up that night.
It was like it was
reading.
destined for you to have a mediumship reading there. Yeah, that's fair.
Because funnily enough, the woman was so good and impressed me so much. You were there. She came round to the house.
Oh, yeah.
She was so good.
Yeah.
And then the readings she gave me subsequently, when I'd arranged for her to be there, not so great.
Yeah, I don't remember anything she told me that night.
No.
Like, I remember from mediumship readings I've had one where I can't dispute it. I've had one mediumship reading where I can't explain it. I've had one tarot reading, both with the same person, that I couldn't explain. And they were years apart, and that person would never have known either of the topics that came up in those. And I'm not going to share them because they are deeply personal, but they were very, very, very accurate, and I do not know how that person knew that information. The other time I've been really impressed by a medium it wasn't me. I just went to the spiritualist church one night. I was living in another city. I didn't have any friends anywhere, so I just took myself there for the night, something to do. And there was a really old lady, really, really old lady there. And the mediumship reading that she got from this person was like so in detail, down to smells and down to describing notes that were written on like the walls of the pantry. And this was like this woman was like 90, and the medium was probably only 50, and the person that had come through was this person's grandfather. So this was like late 1800s, early 1900s. At this particular, he was being given a vision of this woman's granddad's like house, basically, as it was when she was a child, when she remembers it. In the early 1900s, essentially, because this woman was probably born in like the 1920s. And the names for some of like the foods or the ingredients that were written on these little tabs in this pantry don't exist now. We don't refer to them as that now. And he's like, the medium was like, I don't know. All I can see, I can read it. I can tell you what it says. I don't have any context for what this is. And this woman, old lady, was crying because she was like, these were his nicknames for foods that he would shorthand them on the pantry so that we could tell what they were. And like, I don't know how you would ever know any of this.
So how would you
and
know
he was
that?
describing smells and like certain things that would be next to each other in the pantry, and he's like, it doesn't make sense why this would be there and that would be there. And he's like, because he had his own way of putting things that don't make any sense to a normal person, but he would store things in a certain way because it made sense in his head. And like, how is that in depth? And this, for spiritualist churches in the UK, the way that they work, if you're not aware, spiritualism is a offshoot of the Christian faith. In Christian faith, communing with the dead is actually a sin, but spiritualism came about in the Victorian times as an actual movement and ended up becoming its own religion, its own religious sect, and they've got their own churches. And they get other spiritual mediums from around the country, so they're never local. It's not somebody that that you've got the option to say, oh well, that person knows me. Exactly. Like, and it's free to, well, it's not free to get in. Well, it is free to get in. Like, anyone could show up at a mediumship like night at a spiritualist church from anywhere in the world, and they'd be welcome to go in at that time. And the medium could be from Scunthorpe or Liverpool or Scotland or France or whoever, wherever they've come in from. It's not like it's Bob from down the road who knew your grandma and he's picked this information up, through the grapevine about you and is now giving you this mediumship message. Like, it doesn't work like that.
And specifically referencing the story you've just told.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I know good old Derek.
Derek Akura.
God bless Derek.
Big up.
In the arena tours, I know skeptics have pointed out, quite rightly, that like they would plant listeners in.
Yeah.
But I doubt that old lady was, if she was chatting to anyone in the interim beforehand, I doubt she was saying, my dad used to call bread this.
Well, it was her grandfather.
Well, her granddad,
like this
whoever.
old, and she was quite frail as well, this old lady. and when she was crying, like, it upset me. I'm too empathetic for my own good. It bothers me at the best of times. But like seeing a really, really old lady cry, I was like sat there at the back, like, like sniffling away. So it was actually really, like, I think everybody was feeling really emotional in the room, and I feel like you can't fake that sometimes.
No.
That level of like really highly charged emotion. I'll never forget it. I've forgotten, you know, I've been to spiritualist church many times over the years. Can I remember probably anything that anyone's ever had like as a reading? No, that one I will never forget it. It was so in depth,
and that's what I'm saying. And I think that's what draws people in time and time again. People are seeking the golden moment.
Yeah, they want that.
We do get glimmers
time,
of these people with extraordinary talents and abilities, I believe. Yeah. But I think they're very far and few between, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's certainly, I mean, I know, what's his name? Derren Brown. I would love to go and see Derren Brown live. Derren Brown is obviously like like he's does illusions and like the psychological kind of like shows and those sort of things. He does a segment on mediumship where he I remember it was in one of his arena tours that was filmed, so you can watch it on YouTube, and he proves mediumship as fake. And he says, and this is how I know. So he picks random people out of the crowd, puts them on the stage, and he gives mediumship readings to these people. Obviously, he doesn't tell you how he does it, because that's, you know, how he makes his money, is knowing all of these tricks and stuff. But he gives this mediumship reading to this woman about, you know, really specific things about her life. I still don't think that he went as in depth as some of the things that have come through to me in like, or that I've seen other people get. So yes, I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I was like, do you know what, you disproved like all of the vast majority of the fakes out there. Like, fair play to you. I fully agree, completely agree with him. I still think, like you say, are there some people out there that really, really, truly do have this and slip through? And, you know, it's just, they're unfortunately surrounded by a mass of charlatans. Yes, I believe that completely.
And do you know, I find almost, I don't want to, because, you know, I want to say this respectfully as possible. Do I think the people we went to last night think? I don't think many people truly attend these things with
just to be,
this is an easy way of me making. I don't even think they make that much money doing it.
No, I don't. I absolutely think there are people that do that.
I think
they believe fully in what they're
good.
Saying. Yeah, and this goes back, and this person's gonna know that I'm talking about them. I'm not gonna name them, but they're a medium, and they actually had somebody at their workplace that asked them, "Are you sure you've not just got schizophrenia?" But this person, I fully believe in their skills. They're the person who gave me the tarot reading and the mediumship reading that I can't dispute. And I did know that person. That person did not know this extremely personal piece, these two extremely personal pieces of information about me. I'd never told anybody, so he certainly wouldn't have known that about me. So, you know, is it that people have got mental health problem? That's a very difficult step to walk. You've got to be really
cringing.
I know, you've got to be really careful when you start going down that point of view. But does that come into it for some of them? Not all of them, but are some of the people that believe that they're mediums and that they're hearing, you know, people, is it something that maybe goes down the line of mental illness? I don't know. Yeah. So it's a very, you've got to be so careful if you're going to accuse people of that, especially to their face. Just let them believe it, you know, as long as they're not harming somebody else at this point. Obviously, I think, you know, they do take money from people. Some of them prey on people's vulnerability. I think there's a lot to it from that sense that I don't really agree with, and I think does need to be challenged. But it's a really rocky road, the fake mediumship thing, really rocky.
So to sort of quite beautifully leading on from that, so we kind of wanted to explore it in breadth. In this modern age, there are many ways you can, should you be so inclined, to access a mediumship reading. And we were like, let's give them all a go and compare in our scientific research. So this is going to be a very loosey-goosey, open, we're just going to discuss all the things that sort of come to my mind with comparison with this. So I went away and I was really intrigued because I follow a few, mainly for tarot rather than mediumship as such. I think because of what I've already sort of expressed now, I don't think many people
are legit.
who legit And B, even if they do they necessarily want to be parading that all over the internet? Or does it work like that? I'm not convinced, because I think for someone to, well, what I thought, for someone to really tap into you and read you, surely they need to be able to
physically be with you.
With you. To me, I'm not. Anyway, yeah.
If we're looking at spirituality and spirit as a energy thing, which is what you and I think a rather similar opinion of, that it's an energy source that can't be destroyed, that remains in us and releases, and then whatever, that becomes a ghost. If that's what we believe, surely that's what they tap into when they're giving a mediumship reading, is that physical energy that's with us. I think I'm definitely with you on that line.
So, but like I said, I do follow a few that offer these voice note readings, and I was like, okay. So knowing we had this psychic night book, I went away and did that. And the way this particular one worked, so it was £20 for the privilege. So
wow. That's expensive.
See, and this is we're going to break this down. So it was £20, which I think, I mean, it's neither here nor there, isn't it? It's 20 quid. But so I paid it for this voice note reading. I'm not going to obviously mention who I sought out or anything like that, because I don't want to. They've not consented for them to be discussed specifically. But I'm just more talking about sharing my reading and my experience, which I think is perfectly fine. So I paid £20 for the privilege. About a week later, I had to send my photo over a specific WhatsApp number to this person's linked business thing.
I'm already dubious.
For them to connect with my energy, which fine, whatever. So sent a little picture over of my.
So they know how old you are in the picture, and they can tell if you're likely to have grandparents in spirit. This is This is where my cynical brain immediately goes.
1000%. So I'd send that off, and then they asked me to ask 3 specific questions, which again I was like,
Can't you tell?
And am I not therefore feeding you exactly what
you're hoping to get back? Yeah. If you're asking about your future or your finances or your work or your love life,
I've already given you
likelihood is you've got some concerns around that. So they're going to come back with, oh, well, just it'll come when you're least expecting it and all of that stuff. Yeah.
So the 3 specific questions I asked how to best utilise a gift I had recently received.
Okay.
Second question was, would a creative endeavour go well?
Oh.
Guess hashtag hotgirlstomps. Obviously didn't mention that. Would that go well? And the third one was more a work-related question, which I won't go into the specifics of, but a work-related question, like my career, that sort of thing. So got a picture back of the cards they'd obviously pulled for me, one card corresponding to each question. And then I think the voice note in total was 13 minutes.
Okay.
50-something seconds.
That for 20 quid, that's not... That's quite good, actually, because I would have expected 2 or 3 minutes of a reading.
Oh no, it was nearly 14 minutes long.
That's quite good. That's fair.
So the person in question sort of broke down each card. So just I won't go into it because that's not actually what we're exploring. But for anyone who's actually interested. So for the gift one, I got the 6 of Swords, which apparently meant if you're familiar with what's the name of the generic deck, something and row, something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, what you would find on a traditional, because obviously I know you can get all sorts of
I know the traditional
now, but
set.
The traditional tarot deck, 6 of Swords, is like a lady on a boat holding a baby. With 6 of Swords, and then a guy sort of almost helping her to get out of the boat safely, basically. So apparently I'm meant to utilise this gift for helping move on and transition onto better things. What
are you allowed to share what the gift was for context?
It was monetary.
Oh, okay. I think I know what okay, I get you.
And I'm a bit, as you well know, I've sort of been grappling with how
some
best
ideas.
to use it.
Yeah.
And what could
That
you
is
have
so
gotten a
generic.
more generic
Yeah.
answer? I was like,
Yeah.
come on, no, I need to know, do I replace my fences?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it worthwhile? But no, just I was not impressed with that one.
No, that's fair.
Didn't really get anything much out of that. The creative endeavour,
Okay.
which I'm going to find interesting, because as we talk about, basically what I did was I tried, for the interest of science, because this is wholly
for the interest of science,
because this is wholly scientific. When we went to the psychic night, obviously they do, I mean, actually, to be fair, I think only one woman sort of said this to us, but almost have a question in your mind or something you want addressing.
Yeah.
I tried to encompass those same three questions, and then hopefully I would get picked up on. Did it? Hell no. Spoiler. I tried to like do the same, just to sort of see. But the podcast related one, I think for both of us, which we'll sort of go into a little bit more, that was probably the only thing that consistently maybe came up.
Well,
which is interesting,
because
you might have been thinking something totally different, obviously.
Do you know what? I wasn't thinking anything. I actually blanked
just went
my
in it
mind.
completely,
I completely blanked my mind when I was shuffling, just out of interest more than anything. Because I never have a real question. Anytime you do like a tarot or an angel card or anything like that, where you have to like think of a question that you've got, that's not how I live my life. Like, I'm very what happens in my life. My life, not to be too in depth, but has been very tumultuous throughout, you know, my teens and my, you know, young adulthood. So I don't get my hopes up for things. I don't
try and
really
plan
have
much.
any plan. Yeah, I just go with the flow. So I never actually know what to ask when it comes to those things. I just never bother. So I just didn't. So I purposefully kind of like blanked my mind when that came up. But I think what's interesting with the podcast keeps coming up in so I remember when we were decorating the podcast room, you and I, when we went over to like the different shops and we were, you know, buying the blankets and all of that stuff, I don't know if you remember, you were driving and I was like, do you know what, let's do the horoscopes for the day. As much as I don't really believe in them, I was like, just because, you know, we were pissing around in the car listening to Ghostbusters and whatever, I was like, I'm gonna do the horoscope for the day, and both of our horoscopes came up with, you're starting a creative endeavor, blah blah.
This is a great time to do something new.
This is a great time to start a project, basically.
And we were just looking
and we
at
were
each other like,
we hadn't even recorded the trailer yet. I don't think. We were like literally prepping getting this room set up and the space set up. So I found that to be very interesting. I think we both looked at each other like, oh, okay. But that does keep coming up.
That keeps coming up.
Yeah.
So for this particular question, she drew the Hermit card. Don't know if you're familiar with the Hermit card.
A little, yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, she gave me a really beautiful I think this is the card she kind of focused on, really, and it was in the middle as well, which I don't know if that like affects things like an overarching sort of like theme.
I suppose it depends. I don't know whether she shared with you like what the spread was that she
just kind of said one card for each question, and then she did just sort of do an overall, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But yeah, in relation to this question, the Hermit, and this is true because, as you know, listeners, I'm quite sold on the whole tarot thing, and I have my own deck and I pull my own cards.
She does.
I'm like the opposite to Sherry. I'm like,
she sits down.
help me plan. What do I need to do next?
She made all of us sit down at one of our games nights a couple of months ago.
And did everyone's
and like some of our friends who don't believe in that sort of thing were just like, fine, okay.
They just tolerate
me. And Gemma's
at this
just
point.
Like, just let me do your tarot.
Just let me do
you.
it. So yeah, the Hermit is like specifically about like spiritual endeavors, and like going into oneself and reflecting on like more existential things and like knowledge building and learning. Like the Hermit goes away and learns his craft before then presenting it to the world. And she was like, I feel like this is going to go well. You just need to take the time to sit and do some learning, but I feel like you're going to be presenting your wisdom to, not saying I'm wise on this,
but yeah,
I knew I could relate to the tangent she was going on, but I appreciated this. The Hermit's like a slow, it's in the name, it's a slow moving card. She was like, good things take time,
right?
It's not like you're going to be an overnight success, that sort of thing.
Just
It's going to
stick with it.
Yeah. Good things take time, and like one thing at a time. And she sort of meant the hermit is quite because he carries a little lantern.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying like the darker half of the year, and obviously we started in October. Sort of utilising the darker half of the year to take time and sit with books and learn
in the evenings. To be fair, I find, and I don't know whether it's because of SAD or what, but I do find like at the moment I come home where normally during the summer I would be like out every night going and doing things. Like you and I walk quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like even late at night and during the summer we'll go out at like 10 p.m. for a walk because it's still light. Now I tend to come home and like I'll get straight into bed or straight on the sofa and I will be reading,
relishing in hibernation time.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
But spirituality particularly, and she said, like, I can't remember her exact words, but she said, I even feel like this creative endeavour is your own spiritual journey. And I was like, However, so to keep it balanced, on balance, right, I am not stupid. Like, this was an Instagram exchange.
Yeah.
Could they have, prior to the reading, do they go on whoever's profile it is? I'm not savvy enough. We advertise the podcast on our own personal private profiles.
Yeah.
Could she have done a little bit of...
However, we usually do that as a story which disappears after 24 hours. So
that is fair. I don't think I physically have a post.
I don't think you have.
Because to be honest, I think we said this from the off. We kind of want to keep the podcast and our
separate. No one wants to look at my personal Instagram. Trust me.
So we're keeping that quite separate. That's quite an intentional move. But like I say, could she have done that? And this is the thing with This is what I'm saying with modern psychics and mediumship. Like, how easy is it for her to have just stalked my profile a bit?
This is why I hate when people, because you and I both have quite a few people in our life that are into this sort of thing. So we get tagged all the time. When there's a psychic night locally, people will tag us.
People know, yeah.
I hate when someone tags me in a psychic night rather than sends it to me privately, because I'm like, great, if I go now, there's the link to my profile. There's all of the information about me that they need to know. And I've got stuff that would make it really obvious, people that have passed in my life and stuff like that for them to pick up on. So I do think you have to be really careful, especially if you're going to like a physical psychic night where you maybe check that you're attending said psychic night on their, little event page. Does the medium have a chance to look through the attendees that have said they're coming, or if they got a list of who's coming and they're going to Google your name, things like that? There's so much online now that they can get from you, and it's very easy. Even obituaries, you can find obituaries online by searching the living relatives' names. If you put a thing in the newspaper that said loving mum of blah blah blah, there's your name, pops up to say, there you go, your mum's dead. They've got that information now and they're going to take that away. I do think we have to be very, very careful with stuff like that.
And so the last card was the Four of Swords, which like I say, I won't go into the work one too deeply, mainly because no one will be interested, but I did find, I think the way I'd worded the question, the answer was like, oh yeah, you'll go on to like bigger and better things. That's not what I was asking.
Right.
But I knew from the way the question was worded, that's probably how it'd be interpreted.
Right.
Does that? I don't know if that made any sense.
Yeah, I think obviously without you doxing yourself in your career, which I know you want to be careful about, but I think
she just automatically assumed I'm asking like,
am I going to get a promotion or
that kind of thing, which was not the question.
Yeah.
So again, didn't rate that one too much.
Whereas if it was legit, Spirit might have understood what your question really was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't know. So yeah, I'm torn. Like, I listened to it quite a few times, and I think, yes, did she hit some major points? Yes, which made me sort of raise my eyebrows, like, because creative endeavor could have been anything. And on the basis of, let's assume they didn't stalk my profile and do any deep diving.
Yeah,
the whole spiritual side of things was fairly specific. But then I suppose if you're reaching out to a medium, you're going to be of that mind.
Well, you are, but how many people's creative endeavors even if they're into paranormal stuff
Yeah,
enough
means
to
something spiritual.
Yeah, it's very unusual, I think, for most people to be their creative endeavor to be about the paranormal.
Yeah.
You know, most people it would be, you know, they want to paint or they want to learn to like pick up the guitar or the piano again or something like that, or writing a book. Like, that could mean so much, but for it to be so specific about it being related to spiritual and sharing your knowledge that you are finding in your research, that is quite specific.
Yeah.
But could it still be generic? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. I knew you were doing that, and obviously we knew we were going to the psychic night. I think we'll come on to the psychic night last because there's a lot to unpack.
We're already half an hour in, and we've not even touched it.
We've not even touched it. So we told you to buckle up.
Buckle in.
I have done just online, rather than speaking to a person. I wanted to see what the internet came up with.
An absolutely free,
no
cost
tarot reading. It's really hard to find mediumship readings that you can just get online. So we wanted to cover off like the basic level versus Gemma's kind of like online, not quite face-to-face version versus a face-to-face. So we wanted those three kind of like differences. But you can't really get mediumship readings. And to be honest, I think it's a good thing that I haven't been able to find any just like basic online mediumship readings, because is it possible? I think I would struggle to take it seriously if I found one. So I've only really found tarot. So I've done it today because I wanted it to be as fresh as possible and fresh enough to compare to the mediumship readings that we had yesterday and like the tarot readings that we had yesterday as well. So I have not read through these. I've scrolled through the cards, immediately went, ugh, when I saw one of the cards.
Did it ask you to input a question, or literally just...
It's giving me... No, it's a universal 6-card spread. So each card is going to represent a question. So the 6 questions that are predetermined. I did not get to ask them, which again is fine because I would not know what to ask. So card number 1 is, how do I feel about myself? It has pulled the Justice card. Interesting, you know, the woman kind of looks a bit like my aesthetic. Like, she... Obviously, I'm blonde at the moment, but, you know, I'm a bit gothy and she looks a bit gothy. She's got like really dark makeup. She's got a crown on. She's sat in a throne with the scales of justice, I guess, and like a sword. So again, I've not read any of this. So this is how I feel about myself. So you're feeling that things will go your way. You believe in fairness and justice in all things. I do. I am. My ADHD comes with a heightened sense of justice, which is a pain in the ass. So yes, I do very much believe in fairness and justice. If you're considering partnership issues, personal or professional, dealings will go well. Gemma,
why does this keep coming
my business
up?
partner? Perhaps you're about to sign a contract or a legal document. This will be beneficial to you. If someone has done wrong to you, it will be put right and you'll feel justice has been done. Interesting. Yeah. So there's that, you know, the partnership thing, and that either with the podcast it comes up as a creative endeavor or like a business, like with another person. Like this is how it always seems to come up. The next one is an interesting one. So I haven't read it, but I know what the card is. The question is, what do you want most right now? It's the Tower card. So anyone that does know tarot, everyone thinks Death card. The Death card is the worst card you can get. I fully disagree. Death just means an end of something. It could mean the end of the worst period of your life.
It could be, the end
it
of
could
a
be
bad
a good
cycle.
thing.
Yeah.
The Tower is just destruction and everything falling
Your
apart.
world literally
so great.
falling apart.
So for me, what do I want most right now? You're probably looking for an easy solution to a difficult problem. However, in life, turmoil and upheaval often bring about positive change, just not quite as we would like it. Seize this opportunity that is forcing chance as a new chance for beginning. Very ambiguous, very not specific at all.
Doesn't ring true at all.
Nah. My fears is card number 3, and it's the Hanged Man, which I think is the second worst card that you can get. The card is kind of terrifying, actually. It says, you fear letting go, yet this place of limbo and indecision is not a good place to be. Are you being emotionally blackmailed so you don't leave? Don't be the victim. Sometimes we have to have the strength to let go to attract new positive possibilities in our life. I mean, that could be anything. That could be, I mean, work related. Again, I find that one to be very, very ambiguous. I think most people in this day and age are overworked or have a lot of stuff going on. I just not
No,
Not
not feeling
vibing.
that.
No. What is going for you is card number 4. By that, I assume it means what's going well for me, or like what is going in my favour.
Yeah, probably.
It says the world, the card. So success, fulfillment, and conclusion are near at hand. The successful outcome to a venture, satisfaction in a relationship, and efforts rewarded. This culmination of events indicates material wealth and greater spiritual awareness. You may choose to buy that dream house, or a wonderfully fulfilling relationship is on offer. Enjoy. So,
Sherry,
yes.
will you marry me?
Yes, Gemma. Sorry, producer Lewis, get out. I'm taking the kids. That one, I want to come back to that when we discuss the mediumship readings that we had yesterday, because that you may choose to buy the dream house thing, and I think that's going to come into something that we're going to discuss.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as you're comfortable discussing that particular thing, we'll come back to that. What is it going against me? I got the Hermit, interestingly. Yeah.
Pull your weight, Sherry. You
I
need
know,
to be
I'm
doing
sorry,
more research.
I'm sorry. It says you're...
Mrs. I don't want to record my episode today because I've not done enough.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't done enough. So
the AI is calling you
Gemma
out.
Gemma is literally calling me out right now. So the Hermit card, you're at risk of doing something hasty out of impatience and rage. This is not a time for irrational or impulsive behaviour. Don't be cantankerous. I am cantankerous, and I will remain cantankerous. Thank you. If closer to old than young, or arrogant and resentful if closer to young than old. Try and remain calm and let the rage go. Take time to make a cool and collected decision. The Hermit signals a warning not to make hasty decisions. Interesting. I don't find that I'm a particularly like resentful or angry person.
And I don't feel like you rush at any decision.
I think I do when I'm stressed, and I do get stressed in my day job quite a bit. So maybe I just need to take that as a learning to not be so reactive.
Or we need to accept that the free AI is
a load of crap.
That's
crap,
probably
which
the audience
like
probably did not need telling.
No. And then card number 6 is the likely outcome, and I got the Fool, which is interesting. Open your mind and soul to new possibilities. This is a time to realise your full potential. Follow your instincts and act on hunches. A time for spontaneity, fun and surprises. However, be mindful of being too impulsive. So that goes back to the previous card. Your decisions should be based on experience and knowledge of self. So basically, if we're taking this legit, which I don't think it is because it's a online, pulls random cards website. I need to take risks, but not impulsively. I need to be informed before I do so. Interesting. So I think that's going to bring us on to the real one, the one that we had in person last night, which I'm going to leave with you to open on this. This is you've got the notes for who came first, because it's all melted into one for me a little bit until the last one. So fair. I'll let you go.
So as Sherry quite rightly explained, so just for full context, we paid £35 per person for this experience,
and got 4 readings rather than your £20 for one.
So my maths is terrible. So like I say, like these people aren't making
a massive amount
of money.
Included in that was
and fish and chips,
the food, and I had like chili con carne, like vegetarian chili con carne, which was banging, by the way. But like you've got the location,
the
has
use
to
of
pay,
the space, the electricity, the heating, the
so they're not
mediums.
So
they're not making bank. So does that? I don't know. Does that?
Is that better or worse?
Again, do you get what you pay for? Like,
I don't know. Spiritualist Church doesn't charge the mediums. Mediums don't get any money for doing that.
I was the impression I got. So clearly, these people all seem to roughly know one another. So
they're local, yeah.
So my thinking was, were they
splitting it?
A congregation of mediums that attend some kind of spiritualist church?
Maybe, possibly.
And are they I'm being nice. Are they practicing their skills?
Yes. Gemma's being nice because there was 1 or 2 plot, spoiler alert.
I just right.
Where we weren't sure.
So if you're going to, as cheap as it is, how morally correct is it to you're selling a product, you're selling an experience.
True.
And if you're not great at that, should you not be forthcoming
and say I'm in
with
training,
that.
and
Yeah.
charge less
Yeah.
for it. Yeah,
Or
I agree.
do you know, if you're passionate about developing if you think you've got a skill, if I had any inclination that I was able to speak to the dead,
Yeah.
and wanted to practice that and get good at it, would I not just constantly read friends and family that wanted to be read for free until such time
you would? And
that you could confidently read strangers?
You absolutely would. And not to keep going back to the spiritualist church, it's just because I went since I was a kid, and you know I'm more familiar with it than I am with other, you know, mediums. Not in that sense of mediums like we're talking about, but like the other term of medium. They do development sessions for mediums, which are totally free, and you go with other mediums and you read each other and you develop. And then other people that I know who are mediums or have not refer themselves as mediums but have got the gift or are sensitive or whatever other term people use to refer to themselves, they read friends. I had a friend who hadn't done anything in years and was too embarrassed to go and start reading strangers, so asked me, could I come over a couple of times a month and just practice with you, practice different techniques, whatever. Obviously I'm not going to charge you for it, like I just need some support. Absolutely, go right ahead. And I think that's the more morally conscious way to do that. And I completely agree.
I think
with
for groups like ourselves, and maybe this is how you need to approach these things, and people are just, unfortunately, I don't want to say the word naive, but we went for a bit of entertainment at the end of the day, and for ourselves a little bit of research, like mum and her mate just came for a laugh, whatever, and for the food. But some people, like on the table next to us, the fact that they'd downed 2 bottles of wine is neither here nor there.
Well, but they were quite loud.
They were quite loud. But some of those women were in bits.
Yeah.
So if you've had a recent bereavement and you are desperate to have answers or closure on something,
you're going to take anything you're given.
You're going to take anything you're given. And should these people, like I say, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway.
This is a segue again. Look, we have opinions on this. I think that this is the topic that most people worldwide are most interested in when it comes to ghosts or comes to paranormal, is that spiritual communication. You know, we can talk about aliens all we want, we can talk about Bigfoot all we want, we can talk about tarot specifically, but when it comes to mediums, I think this is the biggest,
people want to believe that we can
thing worldwide.
Speak to loved ones that are dead.
And I think that we need we have to be critical of it, and we have to be passionate about it if we're going to talk about it. So sorry guys,
but leading on from that, right, so out of the 4, so you know, we've sat down, we've eaten our respective meals. So realistically, how much is a bulk fish and chip buy? So if we've paid 35 quid, what would you say? It's probably more like 30 quid we're paying for the reading.
Maybe a bit less.
£5.
Yeah. I think fish and chips is like 8 quid or something.
So
£30
for 4 readings. So for each psychic, air quote psychic, how much is that like?
Mate, I don't do maths. You're asking the wrong girl. Someone email us with the maths.
Yeah. It's not
I think
not
it was
a lot.
Like 8 or 10 mediums.
It's not a lot. So the first lady, who was probably, you know, I hate to sort of go the wrong way about it, but it was probably the best one for me, and then it went downhill from there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we are so opposite.
See, it isn't, but anyway. Yeah, so she was quite interesting for me, and I've never seen, so she did get cards out.
She did.
But it was a deck of cards, which I'd never seen before.
Yeah. I found
that really interesting.
The only things I really know of are like your traditional tarots and
like
angel
like
cards.
Broad angel spirit
you
cards.
You do get some other types, and I have seen a couple of other types, but yeah, they were more like actual like sweets.
It was an Alice in Wonderland deck of cards, which I found really interesting.
Yeah.
But it obviously meant something to her.
Well, yeah.
So to not, you know, we're already on 50 minutes, so to keep it short, but for me, she picked up on work stuff, the fact that I'm waiting on stuff.
Yeah.
And then which I kind of brushed off at the time, she was like, "Are you a twin?" And of course I was like, no, like, like she's like, "Do twins run in your family?" I'm going, no. And she kept mentioning work, but I think for me, I wasn't taking it as work. Again, it was more the podcast, and she was saying like, working for myself and standing on my own 2 feet, which obviously we both know in my line of work isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
So again, I was taking that more of this.
Yeah.
And then she was like, you need to draw strength from that twin, that person who's most like you.
Yeah.
And I was sort of eyeing Sherry, but not really like, oh, it could mean anybody.
Because you looked at your mum in terms of like, I think your mind went to actual.
Was I a twin in the womb and you didn't tell me?
You never told me this, yeah.
But no, so keeping it short, that was the rough general thing of the reading, which for me was, like I say, the best one. And then obviously she got up and you said, like, Gemma, we were always called the twins at school.
Yeah, our German teacher referred to Gemma and I as the Siamese twins. We've always referred to each other as twinny and stuff like that. And like through school, because we were just so similar even at school, and like joined at the hip.
Which is quite a specific...
Yeah.
For me and you being together in the same room at that time, if I was there with any other friend, obviously that wouldn't have been applicable.
Yeah.
I've never called another friend a twin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite interesting.
It was, yeah. As soon as she said it, I thought that, and I didn't know if you had thought that until.
No, I did. I was taking it really. I was doing that stupid thing of taking everything like really literally
rather than metaphorical. Yeah.
So she was the best one. For me, she was the best one. And like I say, I sort of had my 3 questions in my head, and it was the only one who even slightly, like, picking up on the podcast and then anything work related.
Yeah.
The only one to even pick up on anything of those themes.
So I didn't, again, like I said earlier, I didn't think of a specific question or anything really. I recognised her. I think I've seen her at a spiritualist church in our town previously. I do feel that I remember her. I didn't say that to her, obviously, but the only thing I think I struggle to remember, if I don't take anything from it, I forget the mediumship reading like straight away. With her, I think I remember her saying again around that work from home, she asked me as well, she was like, do you work for yourself?
Yes.
Like she came directly to me, but she pointed at you like almost as if we were we were connected.
She was trying to figure out the link, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was like, do you work for yourself? And I was like, not really.
Maybe
yeah. So I feel that that's where she was going with that as well, but I didn't really take
much else
really
from it.
Anything else. Yeah.
I
mean, I'm gonna be really open, and I'm gonna be really, like, vulnerable for a moment and reveal, things about me that are really specific to my personal life. But as I was saying to yourself and Lewis before I left, the only time I ever really take a medium seriously is if they pick up on the fact that I've got 2 parents who have passed, which is very unusual for someone of our age range.
Yeah.
Because when you're a charlatan medium, the first thing that they look at is your age. So they always look at an older person. They are safe in the knowledge that that person's parents are probably dead.
Yeah.
For younger people, the thing that I always notice, and this is why I love going to mediumship nights or spiritual nights, because I don't expect to get anything, but I love learning how they work and what they pick up on and what people feed them, and I just watch, and I don't want them to come to me. I want to watch them come to other people and see how they work, because that just interests me. And they always do the same thing, and they always, they will assume that a younger person, they might go with grandparent.
Yeah.
Never do they assume someone's in their early 30s.
But then wasn't it interesting when that other woman asked me, are both your parents
alive? Yeah.
In the spirit world?
Yeah.
And of course I'm like, well, of course not. Like, look how old I am.
Yeah.
But then now reflecting back on it, and this is what I'm saying, like, if these are mediumships in training,
maybe they're not.
Were the messages just getting
scrambled?
Maybe getting stuff that was meant for you?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, they didn't elaborate on anything with regards to that.
Because I was just like,
kind of
no.
Asked. Yeah, but I would. That's what I would want. I would want, if I felt that there was something to it, I would want them to tell me outright. I feel that I've got parents here with you, which would be very unusual,
which
would be a massive gamble for them to take if they weren't real. So that's not something that ever comes up. So for me, I'm always just like,
unless I just look uber old. Do I look uber old?
No, you don't look uber old. You look delightful. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so with that first one, the only thing that was remotely relevant at all was that kind of maybe that link between you and I, but yeah, nothing else for me from that one.
No. Going on to the second lady. My God. Oh my God. What was that?
I don't know. So I know that you.
I was getting quite annoyed even.
I know you were, and I think. So I'm in two minds with this one. So this lady, she didn't come with cards. Well, she came with cards.
Had cards and she didn't use them.
Yeah, she came with
which
cards.
was a
she
choice.
Did not use them.
Considering she was doing so badly, I thought she was going to get them out.
I think with her, and I think you and I are going to have different opinions on this. I think she was picking up a lot of really specific stuff, and I always have to say props to a medium who gives names, because that is such a gamble.
It is a risk. And
this lady was coming out with names, and she was coming up with quite specific stuff with like telling, a lot of mediums will do this thing, I'm feeling,
my chest.
The chest, which she did start off with, but then she gave an actual full-on diagnosis reason for the death of this particular person with a name and with everything else. So either she is just absolutely gambling, or is she getting mixed up with other people in the space, in the room? Was that for another table? Could that just have been a person who she was there?
But then if you're not that good, you've got no business.
Yeah, and I know that's where your
not
opinion
me being
comes
critical,
in, and I get that.
But if you, and I'm not a medium, so I don't know how it works. I would please, if we have any medium listeners, please come on the show. I will not, genuine. I would not
slate you.
I would not grill
you.
I just genuinely want to understand
these questions in your mind,
these workings, because I'm sorry, but if you haven't got, because I know some people ground themselves before reading, some people they have little rituals. So if you don't have a system of trying to block out
stuff that's not for you,
stuff that isn't for the table, why are you trying to deliver readings? Because
I get that. I
agree. No offense, Sherry, I know you say she's coming out with names, John and Tom.
Yeah, and I get that. They were all very... And Joan, she came up with a Joan as well.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. That's just my thought of, if she was legit, is that what was happening? However, what I wish that she had done, because she wasted a lot of time before she got to something that someone could take on the table. She went through multiple people where no one on our table took anything.
No.
And she gave so much of a long reading that she wasted time.
The same thing
What she should have done, if she wasn't getting a hit, or what she should have done was, right, I've got this small piece of information first. Does anyone compute with that?
Can anyone take that?
If yes, then give the next part of the... But maybe in her head, she's just given all this information. She just reels it all off. But for that first 2 or 3 spirits, supposedly, that came in, none of us took it, so she had to send them back. And then finally, we, I think in the end it came to something that your mum kind of took.
This woman was really having to claw her way, she eventually settled on something which my mum could sort of take. But I think for me, once she kind of realised she was on something, that was it. How many different ways can you say someone's struggling with their legs?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see, yeah.
Yeah, she just kept rubbing her legs all the time.
I can see them hobbling about, holding onto furniture. Yeah. And I think she's either got elderly parents herself, because then she was trying to be all like, I can see bandages on the legs. No. And, spoiler alert, it was about my dad who struggles with his legs. He has not got compression stockings on.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she's on about, though. And my mum was like, no, but she's got...
And she also said, I'm feeling that this person is a woman.
Yeah, my mum was like, no.
No.
She
had no answer for why she got that. She just went, okay, ignore that then, and then carried on. So it's
she was flinging stuff at the wall, again, keeping it clean, flinging it to the wall and seeing what stuck, and it made me angry, because I'm like,
I can
you
tell.
are sorry.
I can tell you did not compete well with that lady.
I think it's because I believe that's why it makes me angry.
Yeah,
because I'm like, you're just making it look...
You're the one giving
You've got no
name,
ability, and this development group you're probably going to, with people probably trying to hype you up and saying you do, it's like bad auditions on the X Factor.
Oh my god!
Who's Simon Cowell? Who told you could sing?
Yeah,
you can't. You haven't got it, mate, and you shouldn't be.
Scathing review.
If you want to develop, fine, do it for free, because you're not good. Don't be charging money. Sorry, but that's how I feel.
Gemma.
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm a Scorpio. If anyone wanted to.
So, medium number 2.
0 out of 10.
Medium number 3.
Medium number 3. That was our... I mean, again, I thought she was rubbish, but I want to be a friend. She was fantastic.
She was lovely.
She was a great orator. Nice. She could just keep talking and talking.
She was. I'm trying to remember.
She had the angel cards.
She did have
with
the angel
her brightly
cards.
coloured outfit.
She did. I remember her saying something to me at the end, and I'm trying to remember exactly what she said to me, because it was the only bit where I was like, with her. I feel like she did get some hits. She got a hit with your mum's friend, and I feel that your mum's friend got quite emotional by it. Not to put words into her mouth, but she was coming through with something that was quite personal about her mother and her father, and and that was quite. I just sat back and listened. You just sit back and listen out of respect, out of those moments, don't you? And it may be that maybe that was generic, or I don't know, but she seemed, and I didn't speak to her about it afterwards, but she seemed to take it all very well.
Yeah.
But
because it's funny because actually I've literally just realised this. So the first one I think was for me.
Right.
The second was for my mum, as poor as it was.
Yeah.
The third one was for Sue.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sue, shout out Sue. She'd love that. And then the fourth guy.
Well, let's not ruin the fourth one
Your
yet.
mate.
My
so
dude.
That's funny. So as much as I'm sitting slating these people, are there just different mediums for different people?
Maybe. But does this go back to...
And do we tap into energy differently?
Yeah,
do me and that first woman just have a vibe?
They all had a different way of mediumship.
Exactly.
And they all had such different personalities.
They really did.
And
I'm so excited to talk about him. Did he say his name?
No! Oh! I don't know what his name was, but I loved him. Number 3, I do think she was very nice. I shuffled my card. And one thing with her was 3 of us all pulled the same card, even though we shuffled it really well.
Yeah.
We all pulled, apart from your mum, the breathe
card. Yeah.
Which was just an interesting coincidence. I mean, there was lots and lots and lots of cards for it to come up all 3 times. And so the first 2, you and Sue both pulled the breathe card. I pulled a different card, but then she was like, I need to pull another couple of cards for yours.
Breathe came out again.
And then breathe came up again for me. So it wasn't the first card that I pulled on that third time. And we definitely shuffled them. I made sure after you 2 got the breathe card that I shuffled mine real good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Nothing to note really.
She was an interesting mix of card and spirit.
She was,
because she just sort of took the card but without really, similar to First Lady, I suppose.
I remember what she said to me. This goes back to the podcast. So she said to me around, I've got certain spiritual connection that I need to tap into for a creative project, and I really need to file that and funnel that in.
To you.
Yeah, you might have gone to the loo at that point. I don't know, but yeah, she did. She said something around, I've got like a specific set of skills.
I can't even do the
Liam
accent.
Neeson.
I will use them. No, that was terrible. Sorry, that was Batman.
That was Batman.
Liam Neeson as Batman.
Oh my god, I would watch it.
No, sorry. Right.
But yeah, so that was the I knew there was another bit that came up around the podcast during those, and that was that lady right at the very end. It was like the last thing she said to me before she let me go. And then
see, whereas for me, what did she? Like you say, I can't even really remember what she said because it was so.
She went on with, have you got work to you?
You've got a male with you. Have you got an uncle in spirit? No. I mean, technically I do.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think the one that would be sticking around with me. But yeah, and just kept just firing stuff, hoping it would land. And are you bored? Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Are you depressed?
Well, she asked
Aren't we all?
Are you bored? And I actually had to ask her because there was a really awkward pause, and I was like right now. Or in life, because I didn't know what she was getting at, and no one was speaking.
We were all just sort of looking at each other.
So I was like, do you mean, is she bored? Is she
life?
Commenting on, have you got a resting bitch face going on or something?
Yeah, I mean, I do. Again, Scorpio.
I don't think you did. I didn't perceive you as having, but I thought that was where she was going with it. So I was like, I need to clarify here what she means, on Gemma's behalf.
What do you mean?
Is she bored of this mediumship night, or is she bored in life?
I mean, after that second woman a bit, I was. So,
well, yeah.
But yeah, no, not great for me. But like you say, for Sue, really tapped into. But then again, without utmost respect to my mother and Sue, they are of an age where, yes, you're going to say, are your parents in spirit?
Yeah,
yes.
And the likelihood is...
Whereas, say, you and me, that's going to be a bit more of a risky... Although she did turn around and say, both you... My mum's literally opposite me, love.
She didn't know that, though, because she asked us at the start, are you all related? And we said no, because technically, no, we're not.
So she was, laying the bricks.
Yeah, so she didn't know that your mum was at the table.
Are your parents... No, she's literally sat right here.
Yeah, but you didn't say that, you just said no.
Yeah, so... But no, but yeah, anyway. So, again, for me... It was
hit and miss.
I'm just gonna let you talk about the final man.
So our last person
We
of
need
the
to give him a
night-
name.
Roger, I don't know what his name was. He was an old boy.
He was.
So this guy, he walks in and he's got a walking stick and he is like an old dude. And so in my head, when he rolled up, he looked to me like, you know, in Home Alone, you've got the guy with the shovel that lives next door that Kevin McAllister is terrified of.
Yeah.
He looked like him, but a bit older.
He did.
And he was walking with a cane, like really, really unsteady on his feet.
A floral cane.
And he sits down and I could have listened to this man speak for the rest of my life. I was enthralled. He had the most...
He had a very commanding presence.
Lilting, soft, posh Welsh accent.
I'm not even going to attempt to do it.
No, but you know, like, the only way I can describe how gentle his demeanour and how he spoke was...
You had to lean in to hear what he was saying, didn't you?
But you know in Harry Potter, with the... oh my God, what's the actor's name? The Prime Minister that delivers Dumbledore's will at the start of Deathly Hallows Part 1.
That's a very specific
reference.
Yeah,
the guy, I can't remember the name of the actor right now. He's also in Love Actually. He plays the rock star that gets naked on telly. Bill Nighy, thank you very much. That guy. He does a specific kind of very gentle, very slow talking Welsh accent. This guy's wasn't quite as strong as that, but it was so enchanting to listen to, I felt. And I just think he was like from another planet, and he seemed to think he was
definitely from another planet.
But
he literally told us we weren't allowed to speak.
Yeah, he did.
He was like...
he introduced himself as
Once I get going, don't interrupt me.
Shut your mouth.
Because you will interrupt my flow.
Yeah, he
I
did
think,
say that.
AKA...
What are you thinking? What are you staring
I literally
at?
just felt like... I think...
Oh my
sorry,
God.
I think it's just my eyes. I think, like,
Gemma's
the desk
freaking me
chair...
out.
Literally looked like a shadow standing next
Gemma's
to me then.
freaking herself out.
He's come to visit me
He's
to tell
come
me
to
off because I'm
visit
going to slate him.
Chatting crap about him.
No, he was like, you'll interrupt my flow. And I was like, right, so AKA, we can't disagree with anything. You're not going to even allow me to tell you no when you're telling me absolute nonsense.
What he actually said, Gemma, and I'm standing up for my boy here now. So he sat down and he said he introduced himself as a inspirational medium.
No cards, no nothing.
Yeah, he said basically, I just get message from spirit. Like, don't use cards, I don't use aids, I don't use anything along those lines. I just get what I get and like give what I give. He said, and for that reason, I would ask you not to speak among each other or have conversations outside of me giving my mediumship reading because it will interrupt my like thought process and I just spiel off what I'm getting. He then went into like a spiel before he gave any, because he was like, you're my last group, so like I'm not leaving the table till everyone gets a reading. So then he kind of took liberty with that, I think, and just went on like what I appreciated, but I could see your mum's eyes were kind of glazing over a little bit, and I feel like yours probably were as well. He kind of went through like this is my understanding of spirit and my understanding of what spirit can do and how they communicate and blah blah blah, because he was talking about, you know, you have to say bless you to spirit because spirit can manifest, you know, demons. I think he was kind of trying to go down the right route of like demons can take on,
can try and communicate
and
with
pretend
you.
that they are a loved one, whereas if you know, affirm it, bless you means the same thing in every single religion. It is really commanding in what it actually means, in, you know, there's no getting around or misinterpreting the term bless you. Every single culture, every single religion has a meaning for the term bless you, which I was like, profound. This is fantastic. I completely understand.
I was just like,
everything.
this man's taking me on a trip that I don't want to go on.
I was like, I understand everything that you're saying to me right now. I feel like we're on the same level here. I don't think everyone else felt that way. And then he started doing the readings, and his were just very... I think he was very informative in what, like, in terms of he gave a lot of information.
Sherry, did you listen to what he said to me?
Well, I don't remember what he said to you, but I remember what he gave to your mum, and your mum was like, I feel like your mum was actually really listening to him, and he was basically just talking to her about like not letting people take advantage of her and stuff like that, which she'd got earlier on in the night from one of the others as well. Like, don't, you know, you open yourself up to people too much, and you need to be thinking of you first, and blah blah blah. When it got to me, he basically called me an alien, didn't he?
Yeah.
Essentially, he called me an alien. He told me that I was born from the stars, and I was like, "What is going on?" I love it, but what is happening
And
right
it was
now?
the way he winked at you when he said it. You were born from the stars.
Well, no,
wink. I was like, oh dear God.
He basically said he went on this spiel about the stars, and he said, you know, when you've got the planets and the constellations, there are beings that come from those constellations, and there are certain beings on Earth that come from those beings, and you're one of them. And he was like, wink. And then he went on to tell us I was taken by aliens into the stars once.
I've been to space with them.
I've been to space
I had checked
before.
out at this point. I was like, no.
I was obsessed with it.
No, this is too much.
From how interesting I found it. I don't believe it, but I was like, I love him. Like, I just think
he fully believes what he's saying.
I thought he was so compelling, and just the way that his story told, and his voice, and just I was just fascinated by him. Do I believe? He believes, I think, that he went to space because he was like, I know this. I believe because I have seen, and I think you believe because you have seen as well.
Sherry, he said, you don't need to believe
because
you know. Right, listen, for the listeners, all this man told me was I was a fat, chunky, happy baby, and I will continue to make people happy because that's my thing.
He did. He said no. He was nice about it. He said,
I didn't say he wasn't nice, but you just said he was informative.
He didn't call you a fat baby. He said
I was a bonny, happy baby.
Yeah, he said you were a happy child and you have gone through life with that and you instilled that on others. He said you make people happy around you.
That's not informative.
How is it not?
I don't need to believe.
It was a character judgment.
I feels it. Sorry.
I'm standing up for him, God damn it.
No.
I don't believe necessarily in what he gave, but there were certain things he said that I really resonated with, and I found it really fascinating. And I really liked.
You want to go to his house for a cup of tea?
I would love to.
We need to have him on.
I would like to just have a conversation with him, just about like life and like his story. You know, there's that guy on YouTube that goes around and like finds people and has a cup of tea with them in the street and just like talks to them about this. Yeah. I would love like. Tell me a story, like this is your life from that man, because I feel he has a story to tell.
Oh, I think
I just thought it was fascinating. I just thought it was fascinating. He definitely believes he went to the stars. He even told us, like, when I was 21, I went to space, and there was an alien that sat on my bed.
No, that was an angel.
An angel, sorry, sat on the end of my bed.
You can't remember what he told
I can't remember what it told me, and by God, do I wish that I could remember, but I know it was there.
I'm just going to point out how old do you reckon he was?
90. Late 80s at least.
So what era would he have been 20? So no, he wouldn't have been 21 in like the 60s or 70s, because I'm like, has this man just had a perpetual acid trip?
Maybe.
Throughout his life?
Possibly.
Anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. I just, after he left, I waited until he actually left the room, and I was like, I love him. I loved him. And you guys were all like, what? I don't know what it was.
On a human level.
On a human level, but on a spiritual, not necessarily do I believe in the power of his mediumship skills necessarily. Whether we just didn't understand him, I don't know. But some part of my brain, I just felt like I really connect with this man. And
you want to you want to attend a seminar of his where again no one else is allowed to speak.
I just loved listening to
him.
The
fact that he could continually flow like that for the 20 minutes was impressive.
I just found it fascinating. I really, really found him so interesting to listen to. I
can take that.
And that bless you part, I think, really sat with me around. I think it just makes perfect sense. It's not something I ever would have thought about before, in that the term bless you is a universal phrase that goes across all religions or cultures. You know, we have peace be upon you with, you know, with Islam, or we have, you know, other things in other cultures and other sayings and phrases that they use, but the term bless you can be utilized in any culture. And if you believe that spirits react differently in different cultures or come from different cultures because of the beliefs of those cultures, I just thought it was really interesting. And it's something that I might attempt to try one day on one of my ghost hunts, to see, you know, if that protects me or if it conjures anything, or I don't know. I just think it's worth giving it a go.
We'll test it.
Yeah.
So to wrap up this extremely long episode,
Hey, we said we pre-warned people.
We did. I just did from the voice note one and the in-person one. Yes, I think people are trying, because I think everyone's born. I think we all have the innate, because like we've said about kids before, we have the innate ability to connect that dampens down probably over time and depending on how you are as a person.
You develop it or your situation.
So people that are actively trying to practice it, yes, do they get glimmers of connection?
Yeah.
Maybe. But as of yet, unfortunately, I am not sold that it's maybe 80%, 20% talent, 80% performance.
People reading, yeah.
And just trying to
I
narrate your way through.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate that I think the vast majority of mediums or psychics or clairvoyants or whatever term you want to use, I think are either knowingly charlatans, or subconsciously, like they don't realise that they are doing it and there's another reason for why they're getting this, or those impulsive thoughts or intrusive thoughts that come in. Are they just thinking that this thought is a message from spirit and they're reading it off? Is it a subconscious thing? Because I could probably sit in a room with somebody and maybe bullcrap my way through a mediumship reading that was bare minimum based on just me reading their expressions or their just minor reactions to things that I say, and kind of get a gauge on whether or not I'm down the right sort of path, and look at their age and ascertain. They've probably got one dead grandparent maybe, so I think I've got a grandparent, and you rely on them going, oh, my grandma passed away last year.
And do you know what I feel like you and I got a lot of at the again, this is probably an age thing. Oh, you're at a crossroads, decisions to be made.
Yeah.
We're midlife, young midlife.
That has reminded me, though, the third lady before my dude. Do you remember she asked me, have you had some really serious health thing that you thought was going to be... Not to go into too much detail, but I
know what you're on about,
had to go for something, to get checked for something that ended up being fine, that could have been a life-changing, life-altering thing. And I have been diagnosed with something that's life-altering, but not in the way that we originally thought. And she was like, you've kind of teetered there, and now you've come back from that, and blah blah blah. Again,
and this is what I'm
quite
saying,
generic, but also it's quite unusual for her, because she actually said life-threatening to me, which this could have been if it had turned out to be what we thought it was. And that's a very specific gamble for someone of my age, for you to go with that,
to go that far,
that route, of that serious of a health thing.
And this is what I'm saying. I think these people get glimmers because they're practicing, they're doing it all the time. So I'm not saying there isn't an element of natural ability, that they're trying to hone and get better at. But I'm just saying,
most of them are fake.
Not even fake. They're just not good at it. Yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think they should be more upfront with that, and say, like, I don't know, I've only been doing this a year. There's lots of people in this room, so if it's not resonating, it could just be that I'm picking up.
And I think people would respond better if someone was that open and honest. But then also, would they open themselves up for judgment in that, people are going, well, that's just an excuse for if they don't get anything.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a difficult one. But do you get what you pay for? I mean, in comparison to your free one, yes.
Yeah.
I suppose people that are passionate enough about it to want to do it, they feel like it's their calling to do all of the time. Like, they need to be compensated. I understand that.
Yeah. And, if people are willing to pay a certain amount of money, people are going to charge it.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I think what I would like to do as a test is I would like to go to a big medium show. Like an arena.
I did go see Derek Akora.
Did you?
I did not get picked on.
No,
obviously. I was 13 at the time.
I wonder if Colin Fry still operates. I don't even know if
he's dead.
Alive. Is he? Are they all dead?
He's dead.
Since when? Years ago.
Yeah, I think he got
Psychic
cancer
Sally.
or something.
Did Psychic Sally, was she the one who
Was
got
she just
caught?
outed?
Was she the one who got caught with an earpiece? Someone in the
Something
audience
like
with an
that, I think,
earpiece?
yeah.
So maybe there aren't any big mediums that do the rounds anymore, but I would have liked to have gone to like one of those bigger shows where the person's supposed to be the best in the world at what they do.
Teresa Caputo.
Yeah, that's
over
true.
in
Yeah,
America.
but I don't know if I could. No offense, I think she's too brash. I don't know if I could listen to her for an hour and a half.
Fair.
But yeah, maybe we need to find some. If anyone's got any recommendations, please send them in of like, you know, and I mean high profile, like really, really good, really like.
Or, you know,
very,
to counter that,
good.
if you've ever had a life-changing medium reading,
yeah.
And like I say, if you want to just send an email in, if you don't feel comfortable posting on a page with like your picture and name attached, just send us an email.
Or DM or whatever,
I want to know.
Yeah.
And then if you could please maybe link us to whoever it was with.
Yeah.
If you genuinely think there's someone out there with genuine talent for connection and are the real McCoy, I want to know. I will drive there.
Well.
I will drive me and Sherry there.
We'll fly there with all of the money we make from our podcast. That is absolutely.
We're now at
money.
6.5 listeners.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we have gone up in a listener and a half now. But yeah, I think I would be interested to do it just to compare. I probably, again, I would take it with a pinch of salt, even if I did get a response, but I would like to see how they work with a crowd and how accurate it appears to be, how people react to it. Keep my eye out for if I think someone's been planted as well. I feel like I'm a very good judge of character and I'm a good people watcher.
This is why you need to watch Traitors.
Yeah, I need to be fair. But yeah, I'd like to do that. I think that would be a good adventure.
That'll be something for us to do down the line.
Absolutely.
Also, if you've had absolute nonsense readings, please tell us about that as well, because we love the crack.
Oh my God, I would love...
If you've had an abysmal reading, please share.
Please do. But yeah.
We want to know. We want to discuss it.
Mm-hmm. So I think overall, I don't think we're really impressed with any of the readings, and we gave 3 different types a go, and I don't think there was anything really in any of them. I think like we've suggested, there's been a couple of times where we've been impressed. I know that my mum's best friend Sam had a really good reading that was potentially from my mother that she couldn't explain and was really, really specific, which was really nice for her. But yeah, I don't know, I think they are so few and far between. Either they're so few and far between, or it's really, really difficult to do well to a point where you can get it that accurate. I don't know what I do believe in them. I don't think that everyone's fake. I do think the majority are, and that's my unfortunate opinion of that. I know your opinion is more people aren't that good. For me, I think there's a lot of charlatans.
You're even more cynical.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because I think those people prey on vulnerability, which I think is really sad, but hey ho.
All right, Debbie Downer at the end of the episode.
Soz.
Jeez Louise.
I know.
Right.
And on that note, we're going to leave you with an hour and 20 long episode. It wasn't meant to be. We knew it was going to be a longer episode at the start of this, just because of the amount of content we had to get through. If you would like more long episodes like this, please let us know. If you found that this was too much and you want us to go back to 30-40 minutes, absolutely, just please keep giving us that feedback. We want to grow this podcast with you, with listeners. We want to make it so that everybody enjoys listening to it, and the whole point of us doing this is just for us to have fun, but we want people to enjoy it as well. So please get in touch. Remember the link tree, you can access it through Instagram /hotgirlstomps, Facebook HDS Paranormal Podcast, same with TikTok, email hotgirlstomps@gmail.com, and we will see you on the next episode.
Catch you on the next one.
Bye.